Whoa, look at this cool new Doors badge. I know your greedy little self wants it, and I'm here to tell you how to get it. All you have to do is get a crucifix, find a glitch fragment, crucify the glitch fragment entity, and... Oh. I see that look on your face. Yeah, you can't cheese this one like the original trial and error badge. You can't obtain a crucifix in the back door, and it's impossible to use one in the rooms. This means that in order to get this, you have to find a glitch fragment naturally in the hotel or mines, which has an approximate 1 out of 10,000 spawn chance. Well, it's a good thing that a badge like this doesn't actually exist, because I know a lot of people would be angry if you had to find a glitch fragment completely naturally for an achievement. Although, this whole topic about this insanely rare hypothetical badge brings up a controversy in this community, that being the one regarding rare entities and encounters in general. You see, after the content update, much of the Doors community wasn't too thrilled about how in order to get one of the new badges, you'd have to be lucky enough to find an extremely rare glitch fragment. This prompted the developers to add a definitive way to obtain the item and achievement by extension, which caused the entire thing to lose its once infamous rarity in the process. In response to this, the developers made this message, stating how they're confused about how they should handle the addition of rare and secret entity encounters without making the community angry. They also made this announcement, stating how due to the trial and error badge's initial reception, they wouldn't do anything like it again. Now, hold on. Although there definitely is some improvement to be done on secret encounters like the glitch fragment, I don't think it should be entirely scrapped from the game. So, in this video, I'll be giving my own opinions for this controversy, as well as stating how the game should improve from this event. So, with all of that being said, let's begin. Alright, so the very first mistake I'd like to point out is the idea of tying badges to super rare events. Given how the content update has been out for a while, and how I have repeatedly thought about the whole glitch fragment fiasco every now and then since that update's release, I can confidently say that I don't think it was a good idea to tie a badge to something as rare as this event. This obviously is because it presents a massive hurdle for completionists that can only be overcome with an insane amount of luck, which is just a big no-no because at that point it's completely out of the player's control. But don't blame the developers for this, as it can be confusing when it comes to badges like this. For example, what about the badge for encountering Jack? Statistically, this entity is quite rare. I myself haven't naturally found them in months, yet nobody seems to complain about it. Well, that all comes down to the rarity of these entities. Doors, as you probably know, is a massive game, with a huge amount of content that can be played, and this means that it's almost guaranteed players will find the traditional rare entities such as Jack simply by playing the game normally. For example, given how Timothy, although technically being considered a rare entity, only has a 1 in 200 spawn chance from each cabinet you open, meaning nobody actively searches for them in their playthroughs, because it's likely they've already been encountered either by randomly looting throughout a run, or through collecting gold for attempting to access the rooms. In this case, Timothy's rarity is the perfect amount so that when they are encountered it is a surprise, but it also is pretty much guaranteed to happen to every player throughout their journey playing the game. And that is a quality which just doesn't exist for the glitch fragment due to how ungodly rare it is. It's very realistic. Players would have never found this just by playing the game naturally, and this can lead to them fruitlessly grinding for it, which just isn't a fun gameplay loop. So, looking to the future, I'd say that if the developers wanted to tie badges to rare events, the events should be rare enough to where it's surprising when they are encountered, but not so rare to the point of it realistically not being obtainable throughout completing the entire game. I'd also advise to only add events like these when players are actively playing through the game over and over again, such as when a new floor or subfloor releases, as that way players who have already completed the game up until the new update content can still find the rare event naturally without grinding for it. However, that isn't where the video ends. As we've discussed, rare entities that are tied to badges. However, what about those that are not? Well, as you probably saw moments ago, the developers really like the idea of super rare and secret entities, but they are being prevented by adding them because completionists want every achievement in the game. So a very simple solution would just to be not to tie those entities to badges. I think a really good example of this would be Shadow. This is a character who has an estimated 1 out of 2,000 spawn chance in each room, and realistically, it's likely some players would never encounter them in a 100% completion of the game. I myself have only found them once naturally. However, given how they don't have a badge associated with finding them, nobody really is too bothered by their presence, as they're just a neat encounter you find once in a blue moon. If the players really wanted to add a very rare and secret thing to the game, they should be structured like how Shadow is, where it isn't a burden on players to encounter it, but it just exists to exist. I will say though, and I've said this a whole bunch of times before, but I really don't think that extremely rare entities should have super unique mechanics. One of my biggest complaints about Sally is that they are too rare to have such interesting functionalities, which is why I've been so adamant that they should be reworked. I know I've been ripping on glitch fragment entities this whole video, but the entities themselves that spawn from the items aren't actually all that bad given their rarity, because their functionalities are just modified mechanics from other entities in the game. I'd recommend that if super rare entities were ever added, their actual purpose shouldn't be too interesting, and they should just be based on other entities in the game, or be very simplistic, such as Shadow. Anyways, those are my opinions regarding the Doors rare entity controversy. To summarize, my key advice to the developers for the future is to 1. Make rare entities tied to badges be realistically encounterable naturally just by playing the game, 2. To make the super rare entities not tied to badges at all, and 3. Make all rare entities in general have simplistic or not that intuitive mechanics. I know that third one may seem a little odd, but I do think it will help, as that way those ideas aren't being wasted on something a large majority of people will never experience. So with all of that being said, let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.